This is breaking news that we are about to tell you. In fact, what I'm about to say might shock you so much that you're like, is this literally a war documentary? Is this an action film? Are we watching Netflix or Hulu right now?
Yeah.
But no, this is real life because President Donald Trump just did something that is unprecedented. Has never been done before in recent history. In fact, it mimics the Vietnam War era, the Korean War era, maybe even World War II war era. And this isn't a coincidence because it comes in the midst of the senior advisor leader that is a part of the U.S. government writing his resignation letter directly to President Donald Trump and letting him know he has to resign because he does not support what America is doing in Iran. He said there is no imminent threat. I can't support it. I used to like you during your other term, but you have been bought and sold out by the Israelis. He said this in his letter. We're going to read the letter at the end of the video, but listen. America just dropped a 5,000-pound bomb on the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, is that a shocker to you? Is that something that's surprising? Did you believe that Donald Trump is going to escalate this war? Because, you know, in recent interviews and speeches that he was doing, he was like, hey, that was a test, you know, for the NATO nations and the European countries. We were seeing if they were going to help us. And it's not like we needed them. But, you know, stuff like this will happen. Donald Trump, it seems like, you know, if you are not with him, you are against him. And he's going to drop 5,000-pound bomb on people. And I'm pretty sure they have more of those where it's like, things are escalating to a point where you really got to think about how's this really going to affect your travel, your day-to-day life. How is things going to start to affect other countries? Because we saw a country below India called Sri Lanka. They did a holiday, one day of the week. I believe it was Wednesday. They said, hey, we're going to shut down. Nobody goes to work. Nobody pretty much does nothing because we are struggling with oil and petrol and things like that.
Right.
So things are starting to change slowly like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like things are, wow. Like this is shock. Well, it's not shocking to me because I kind of, like Donald Trump, he's just off his wagon. He's off his wagon. So
he's off his rocker.
Yeah.
He's just off.
Yeah.
Because listen, this is going to impact you whether you have your eyes closed like, I don't want to see any war. There's nothing wrong. America's the greatest planet. Ma'am, sir, listen. Your president just dropped, I just want to repeat this so you can feel this in your soul. A 5,000-pound bomb on the Strait of Hormuz. And listen, if you don't know what the Strait of Hormuz is, you don't like history, you don't like geography, well, you're welcome here because we'll teach you some history and geography. The Strait of Hormuz is Iranian territory. It's a very narrow strait that lies in the ocean, okay? Near the Mediterranean. But here's the thing. It handles 20% of the world's oil. Now you may say, 20%, does that make that big of a difference? Well, just ask California because their gas is about $8.50 per gallon. Is it barrel? Gallon right now.
Gallon, yeah. Look, we've been traveling, guys.
We are in the metric system, okay? I'm like,
liters.
Who's
You can say
metric
4
is
liters.
But yes, it's $8.30 to 50 cents. Can you imagine that? I know when we lived in Ohio, you would be mad if gas was like $2.87.
Yeah.
You would be mad if gas was like $2.97. $3.99. That's too much. We ain't doing that. That's way too much. But $8. Oh, and today it's gonna get worse. You think it's not going to double and triple? Like this is hitting you right at home, whether you want to see it or not. And like you were saying, it comes just after the NATO allies of Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the entirety of the European Union because they move in unity. Let me tell you something about the European Union. That's why they're the union. 25 countries unified. When they make a decision, if France speaks and says we're not doing this, Spain speaks and says we're not doing this, then they're not doing it. They're moving as a unit. And so President Donald Trump felt like and called them out and said, well, you guys profit from the oil too, but you don't want to help me fight. This comes a day after all of that happened, and they said, no, we're not going to join you in the Strait of Hormuz. No, we're not going to help you. No, we actually support Iran, just like your senior leader of anti or counter terrorism. He doesn't support you. We don't support you either. So the European world right now is looking very, very, very divided. I mean, they have come out and said, we support the Dutch. The Dutch came out on Threads, because I follow certain things on Threads. The Dutch said, you know what? We've been a country since 1295. I said, gosh dang. This is how the Dutch are moving. The ancient kingdoms are coming out saying, America, you were just created in 1776. Us Dutch, we've been here since 1295. I'm like, oh, this is heating up. Yeah. Because here's the thing. President Donald Trump feels like he's backed against the wall. The American military, the United Kingdom won't help him. His good old buddies, the Great British Empire. France, what happened to the Axis powers of World War II? They were all working together to support America as the greatest, top nation on earth. But it looks like judgment has come upon the nation and the world, to where the nations, as prophesied in the Bible, are turning from Babylon at record speed.
Exactly.
Like the snap of a finger.
Yeah, no, that's good. Like I say, this is prophesied. I know it's moving very fast, and you really can't, like, I know when you read it in the word, you start to think in your head like this is going to happen a certain way, but this is happening in real time, very fast. Every day everything's changing. So you got to just, have your discernment on 10, on 100%, because if you don't, you're going to be confused. Because to me, as these European nations come up and speak out, at first they was like, oh, we kind of agree, and then now they're saying we don't agree. So this just seems like a lot of confusion over there. So my main thing to you guys that's listening, do not be confused in these times, because you're going to be you're going to be tossed everywhere. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know how to survive in these times. Make sure you use your mind to lead you in a way to be sustainable, because it's not time to be all up in this confusion. Confusion is not of the Most High.
That's true. And you know what? It's so crazy, because remember, the senior leader resigned. He sent his resignation letter, which I'm about to read here in a couple minutes, in about 90 seconds. But this is showing you there is an internal friction or divergence on how risk is being calculated, on who maneuvers throughout this earth, on who has access to systems. And when leadership fractures quietly, the ripple effects tend to surface publicly later in these huge ways. And this is why events like this should not be seen as one event in isolation. This is the new normal. This is a larger pattern. And headlines focus on conflict, but the underlying story is actually infrastructure. Who controls movement? Who controls supply? Who controls economics? Who controls businesses? Who has resources? Who becomes an entrepreneur in these times? According to recent data, in fact, you should know this, because those who adapt fast when systems fail and begin to strain are going to be the ones on top, because AI adoption in business operation has literally passed 75%. Like, if you are on cloud 9 thinking that these companies are not laying all the folks off, 95,000 people lost their job just 3 weeks ago in February. The highest America has ever seen before. But here's the thing. These companies are increasingly relying on automated systems to stabilize workforces during periods of uncertainty. Because with war, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of what's going to happen next? What do we do? How are we even going to run our businesses? How are we going to operate internationally? How are we going to operate between different nations? Who are we going to trade with? Who do we not want to trade with? Who do we want to take money from? Because not all money is good money. And get this, and in marketing alone, businesses using AI-driven systems are seeing up to 3 times higher efficiency in content production and customer acquisition. This is why you should visit www.tiffygwrites.ai and go to the AI consulting training section. We are doing an intensive this weekend, Sunday, March 22nd at 7 a.m. Eastern, so that you can acquire all of my experience over 10 years, 31.9 million in collective client revenue across tech, finance, real estate, DNA, healthcare, a plethora of firms. All of that data can be synthesized to your business, to your new business, or to your business that's feeling like, hey, I'm a little outdated.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times businesses that have been around 15, 20 years come to me and they say on the phone, I want to work with younger people because we're so outdated. When we started, we did cold calling, we did door-to-door sales. That's how we built our business. But now we know we have to do something a little bit different. Visit www.tiffygwrites.ai to learn more and to see if the intensive is right for you. But I must warn you, there are 3 spots because I only work in incubated settings. And listen, as all of this is going on, governments navigate geopolitical tension and something super critical is happening behind the scenes. Everything around them becomes unpredictable. Most people in moments like this, they scroll more, consume more, or they try to pretend that nothing's happening because they want that level of comfort. And that's a psychological thing that you can empathize with. Like in Leave the World Behind, towards the end of the movie, the little girl was watching Friends as like the world was just in chaos and on fire in New York City. And so I empathize and understand that. But you should be like the wise person in that movie, the prepared one, the one who is reading financial markets to understand what's happening in the world. You should not, if you have the strength and the faith and the capability, sit on your hands and your toes and just say, well, everything will disappear. Everything will be better. A 5,000-pound bomb just dropped.
Yeah. And it's morning time for us. So I know it's evening time, nighttime for, EST in the US. So this is probably going to be big news in a couple of hours when, people start to wake up over there. So yeah, like guys, like you really got to make your position clear. Like you have to, like, what are you going to do? Like that's the main problem. The main solution, I should say. That's what you have to think about. What are you going to do? Because things are not going back. Things are not changing. People are stepping out on Donald Trump. They're going against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So this should tell you something. Like, I'm pretty sure the viewers that we get, they are a little bit more wiser than, most people. And they understand a little bit better than most people, right?
They're more mature, like
exactly,
the Mature Adult Intensive.
Exactly, a little bit more mature, I should say. So America already showed you their hand. What are you waiting for?
Right. You waiting for tickets to be $2,000 per ticket? Maybe because it's probably going to happen in the next 48 hours at the end of the day, because they just dropped that 5,000-pound bomb. But listen, I need to read this letter to you because this is from that senior leader in the counterterrorism. Now, the director of national intelligence, National Counterterrorism Center says, and he writes this, it literally says, President Trump, after much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, effective not in 15 days, not in 30 days, not in 7 days, today. How many of y'all resign from jobs that same day? That usually doesn't happen. Definitely not in the government. No, even in healthcare. When I was a teenager working in healthcare, if you're going to resign, you got to give 2 weeks notice. So I know in the government, you got to give a notice that's more than that. But he said it's effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it's clear to me that we started this war due to pressure from the Israelis and its powerful American lobby. Well, I never thought I'd see the day they would start saying that. This is reminding me of Revelations 2:9-9. If you know, you know. Where he says, the synagogue of Satan, I will make them who say they are Jews and are not come to worship at your feet to know that I have loved thee. Like, how many times has the U.S. government, a leader, come out and say, you are being controlled by Israel? Not that many times. That's usually Candace Owens who does that.
Yeah.
He says, I support the values and foreign policies that you campaigned in 2016, 2020, 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June 2025, something switched. You understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nations. My gosh, is this the director of national intelligence, the Counterterrorism Center, telling the world that America is about to be depleted of her resources, her wealth, and her patriots? I feel like I'm reading the Bible. This man is literally speaking prophecy. If you know, you know. And let's continue, because that's not even it. There's more to go here.
Yeah. Real quick, because we saw that video of a veteran. He was an older guy. He stood up and was saying, I'm not fighting this war for you. And they dragged him out that room and broke his arm. So the veterans, the people that really knows and really has been fighting for the country, is starting to stand up and say these things. This should tell you something. Like, it's warning after warning after warning, and pretty soon it's not going to be any more warnings.
You know, this reminds me of why the ex-CIA guy Andrew Bustamante went literally on a marketing spree, announcing to the world, I'm leaving America by 2027. But he left last year. At first he said it was 2030. These people know what's about to happen, and they're like, well, let me at least save my family and get over to Greece. The diaspora is saying, let me at least save my family and get over to Africa, Southern Africa, the Mascarene Islands where we are at. Americans that are wise and can hear the spirit of Yah are saying, okay, we got to flee. Italians are going back to Italy.
Yeah, ooh.
UK citizens are going back to the UK or Ireland. People that I grew up with in school, they are increasingly traveling to their heritage places of a Poland, of a Russia. Yes, I've grown up around Russians, Jewish Russians. And so when we come to you and explain these things, you need to understand it for what it is, because Joseph Kent here, he's breaking it down as well. And isn't that something? His name is Joseph. But let's continue. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into a very long, never-ending war. You demonstrated this by killing Qassam Soleimani and defeating ISIS. Okay, so he's giving him some praise right there. He's giving him some respect. Respect and honor due to respect and honor who are due to. Then he says, early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign. This man is a whistleblower. He should probably flee America, because I'm guessing Trump isn't going to be too happy about this.
Yeah, no, the Israelis is not going to be too happy about this.
This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike now. There was a clear path to a swift victory. That was a lie. And it's the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel. Can you imagine? Like, just empathize for a second. This man is married with children. He lost his beloved wife Shannon in a war that was created on purpose by Israel. So this is why he's standing up. He's like, I've seen this from the inside. It has completely ruined my family. And so I'm going to speak up and tell you that this judgment's going to come. He literally says, I don't even know if this man understands the way that he's prophesying in alignment with the Bible, but he literally says America will be depleted of two things, her wealth and her patriots. He's saying there's going to be mass death because you cannot evade Iran that simply. We've watched the documentaries on it. You should too. Iran is not a simple place to invade. Vietnam wasn't even a simple place to invade. And Iran is much worse because it's a mountainous desert terrain where they can have landmines. But the Iranians, they want America to come because that's homeland. Even like I used to play volleyball in high school. You want to play the sport at your home court because you know how your court is. It's how you like it. It's how you want things to be. So Iran's like, come on, we're ready. Come on, come over here to these mountains that you're not going to be able to climb up because Americans are too unhealthy anyway. Okay? And he ends this letter saying, I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran, who we are doing it for. The time of bold action is now. You can reverse course. Wow, he's saying you can turn back and repent. Chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further towards declining chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Signed, Joseph Kent, the Director of National Counterterrorism Center. Everybody's like, moment of silence. Yeah. Like, what? Like, that was a lot. I did not even read that in totality until coming to you, okay?
Yeah.
Coming here to read it with you and letting it hit is like, the Most High Yah is showing the nations, the Americans that are so super, super prideful. America's the greatest place. America, never leave America, never, never, never. He is showing you judgments at the door.
Yeah.
It's not on the way.
And
this white man just said, you will be depleted of your patriots and your wealth.
Yeah, you gotta listen. This is why we say you gotta clean your ears out and really listen. Open your eyes and see what's happening. People are standing up against the 2939 revelation people.
Yeah.
Like that's the big picture.
Hallelujah.
Right here.
Praise yeah. Look, you didn't think you'd be alive to see that.
Yeah, the Most High is using people that he needs to use to do this. But the only people that is really going to see it is the people that really has discernment and wants to know this and wants to know the truth. Put it like that. A lot of people just want to be in la la land and think that everything's okay. No, the people that seek truth, they're going to get it. You know, the people that wants to eat the meat and not suck on no milk.
Right. Y'all not babies. You shouldn't be a baby. We about to have a baby next month, but y'all not babies.
Yeah,
you should not be a baby.
Spit out the bones. It don't matter who is coming from. He said this. This is prophecy unfolding.
Yep.
This is not fear-mongering. This is truth. If you cannot accept the truth, I don't know what to tell you.
Then you're in darkness.
Yeah, like
you're wandering in darkness.
This is getting serious. Although this war over here is heating up in Iran, people are stepping up and saying these things.
And you gotta respect him for that, because him signaling that letter says to the remnant, the wise people, and when I say remnant, I'm talking about the remnant of Americans who are going to align with that, who have had visions, who have had dreams, who have had the Most High nudging them, telling them, you may not know how to get out, but you better figure it out quick.
Yeah.
The same way he said to Abraham and Lot, you're taking a little bit too long. I'm literally about to rain down sulfur fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. And I love you, Abraham. I love you, Lot. Y'all the chosen, but you gotta hurry. You gotta get out.
Yeah.
He sent his messenger to tell Lot and Abraham, you've got to get out now.
Right.
Today. Flee. F-L-E-E. That should be on everybody's t-shirt. That should literally be a poster on your wall, on your door. Flee. Because the alarm in that man's words, and you did not even have to read it. This is why I love writing and I love communications. The word choices that he used, he is warned, you are going to be depleted of your citizens, depleted of your wealth. You don't have the wealth to fight the Most High Yah. And I'm not saying Iran is the Most High. I'm saying the Most High is using Iran. Just like he used Egypt, just like he used Pharaoh, just
like
like
he's
he used
using Trump.
Iran, Medo,
Yeah.
Persia in the past to judge nations. And then he turned him and the man went insane.
Yeah.
The man he went naked because he thought he was a god.
Eating stuff.
And he started eating grains in the field for years before repenting.
Yeah. And and we say flee because the word says flee. But the word also says destruction will come to Babylon. Is this the time for that? Iran this is why we say the things that we do. We give this information to y'all. We just don't know how it's going to look. As we thought we did, but things, in reality, when things start to happen, you got to step back and see like, oh, wow, this is prophecy unfolding.
Yeah, you read in the scriptures, you're like,
so destruction is coming to America financially, with their resources.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The other day I saw a video. It was like a TikTok, like a joke type of thing, but it was very serious. They was like, America's doing fine. The grocery stores are stacked and everything like that. And then they cut off. It's like, because the groceries is too expensive to buy. And I was just like, oh man, that's fun. Like, but that's real life though. Like it's they're giving you a picture of, oh, everything's fine, but nobody really can pay for it. They can't afford it.
They're sending you a strong delusion.
Yeah, exactly. It's really that. And like I'm telling you, if you look up history and look up some spiritual things that happen in America, they do witchcraft. They do things to blind you. This is why the Most High said when he poured his spirit down, he's going to wake his people up. Like the dry bones is going to start waking up.
Yeah. You're going to have to wake up.
Yeah, that's why you're asleep right now. Like there's a blinder over your face that you can't see. But once you do see, there's going to be a pull. There's going to be an urgent moving type of feeling that you need to do.
That spirit will pour out upon you. He said, Joel 2, in the last days, my sons and my daughters will dream dreams and prophesy in a way that has never been experienced by the prophets before.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Like, look.
He said, I will pour my spirit out on all flesh. Not 1 to 2 people, not only people that are black, not only green people, not only purple people, not only Pan-African people. He said, I will pour my spirit on all flesh so that the world will know the word is true.
Yeah, and when that happens, all people cannot accept the Most High's spirit. They're going to be battling. They're going to be going crazy. They're going to not understand, like, what is happening to me. So that's the point of, you got to be careful what you intake. You got to be careful of who you're listening to and things like that.
Yeah.
Because 2/3 is not going to make it.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people. Like before, when we first moved to Africa, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of people. 2/3 of this whole world is not going to make it.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to make sense because people are ignorant. It's not bad to be ignorant. It's bad to continue to be ignorant. That's the bad part. Where you listen to things and you just turn your head and it goes in one ear out the other. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the bad thing. These are warnings, like, for real. It's not time to be playing around. It's not time to be laughing and giggling and thinking everything's going to be okay. We see it's getting worse and worse. It's not time to play around.
Nope.
It's not. Look, man, never mind.
The lions got to rise up. Judah's risen up, because at the end of the day, this is going
it's life
to
or death.
get incrementally. I just can't believe this man came out here like that, because usually it's people in the church that are saying things like that will tell you about prophecy. Usually it's people who are appointed specifically to that. But in this instance, it's this commander, and he has the insight that's necessary, right? You got to have somebody with insight. This is why the Most High Yah will place people in prominent positions. And you say, why would the Most High have this be a business owner? I thought we weren't supposed to be materialistic. He said, I need that to be a business owner because they need to handle kingdom commerce. You say, why would the Most High have a director of intelligence in a position where he can use him to speak and mold him, to where this man is literally praying, like, I pray that you wake up. I'm praying that you would wake up. To literally come out prophetically. This European American man, look him up, Joseph Kent, to come out and say, I have seen what this looks like. I know the inside scoop. I have the inside scoop. So he is at a higher elevated level than every single person in America to be able to tell you that war is going to deplete. This is the war America can't win. She bet it too big this time. This is literally why it says Babylon will fall in an hour. After literally all the nations yesterday just said, we are not going to support you. He's like, whatever, 5,000-pound bomb? What do you think Iran is going to do next?
5,000 troops, 5,000-pound bomb. Let's see what's going to be next. That's 5. I don't know. Sometimes you got to just listen. But I know you said churches, because I think that's a big thing too. I remember you showed me, was it like 250,000 or something?
No, it's 10,000 churches.
10,000 churches is
in America that are going to be shut down. This, guys, I think, has a lot to do with AI, because America's also, on the flip side, going to be a wasteland where AI is going to be put as God in the place of man. After this war, AI, and I have the authority to be able to tell you, because I've worked behind the scenes in every LLM and top tech companies that went from $10 million in VC funding to $350 million in profit in 18 months. And evaluated, I have to go through and evaluate and make the LLMs fail on purpose. I'm telling you, it's going to be put so that it's the image of Yah, so that it's the image of humanity in America, so that it gets to basically be that Satan over the Western world.
Yeah. I look at that like 10,000 churches. That should, because our people think that you need, I mean, it's good to dwell with your people and stuff, but the church is the people. And a lot of people depend on Sunday, you know, just to go to church and this and that. So it's warnings that's really coming out, sprinkling, you know, salt on the wounds that need to be healed. So yeah, things are starting to like wake up.
I think this is worse than COVID. I think this is probably worse.
You know,
you're not locked down to the point where you can't get out.
The government say COVID was not real.
Yeah, the White House, on the government website, President Donald Trump's administration, they came out and said, COVID's not natural, it's not real, it was made in a biochemical lab. You can look it up, it's not hard. Google is very much available. It's not rocket science. Literally type in White House on COVID-19, not natural. Boom. Look, then you'll find it.
Boom. Like what? All the people, you had a choice. This is why we say you have a choice. That was literally
6 years ago.
A choice that people made to get vaccinated, to take tests, to do what the world is telling them to do.
To oblige to the beast.
Yeah, we about to be on here all day, guys. All praises to the Most High. Hope you listen. Hope you can see what's coming, because it's not going to slow down. It's just going to speed up. So just make sure you pray. Make sure you fast. Make sure you know the time that you are in, because this is the new year. This is Passover coming up. Unleavened bread coming up. This is a powerful time. This is
probably the most important Passover you're going to have.
Really? Like, really?
The most important one.
So,
well, shalom. We'll see you in the next video. You better get an airplane ticket like today and come to the Mascarene Islands. If I was you, that's what I would do. That's what I did. Yeah. And it's working out very beautifully. But I would definitely do that. Because if you're waiting for the oil to drop prices, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And make sure you stack your oil too. Spiritual oil. Because we're fighting in the physical with oil. But it's really important to make sure that you don't have to run back to re-up on your oil. You want to be the 5 wise virgins and already have your oil and don't share it. So be careful who you listen to, and all praises to the Most High.
Shalom.
Shalom.